as I've said many times in the past before, I am a massive fan of vintage technology, or technology that came from back then. And I gotta say that one of the things which I've owned over the past couple of years is many boomboxes, including my Sony ZFD V25, which I loved dearly. I absolutely loved that dearly. And I do want to say that this is actually the first time in a while since I mentioned that boombox, and I do want to say I have upgraded, or have actually kind of turned into a different kind of boombox kind of guy. I'm just gonna say, welcome to the Panasonic age. So let's talk about it. I will say immediately that this boombox has turned into my main boombox nowadays, and a lot of you are gonna ask, where did my Sony go? I ended up giving it to somebody else as a Christmas gift, and until August of this year, I didn't have a boombox until this came up. And I will say that I got this from my New Hampshire trip for the price of 40 bucks. It was more like 32 bucks because I was able to negotiate this boombox down in price. So going over to what is the main point of the video. Talking about this boombox and its capabilities, or basically reviewing it. This is a boombox that came out from Panasonic in the year 1995, and it is definitely my personal favorite when it comes down to the mid-90s of boomboxes. Like, this guy, I do have to say that this is between the depths of being a digital model, but also being kinda based in the 80s as well. Now, the reason why I say that is because obviously we got the main thing of it being able to play cassettes, which, I mean, massive format of the 80s, and I mean, I gotta say, this thing actually does it very well. Like, actually plays the tapes well, but it was also at a digital age when it was also starting to be able to play CDs for the first time, which, I mean, I will say, yes, One Direction, but, I mean, don't get me wrong. That's a massive feature, which I will say, this is a twin deck model as well, so you can play cassettes on one side and record tapes on the other. It's got AM, FM radio in it. Unfortunately, one of the biggest issues with the CD is that because this is 1995, and I was hoping that this was going to actually be a feature on this boombox, this cannot go and play CDRs, CDRWs, or any of those. It has to play original factory pressed CDs. Pressed, it's more like just recorded CDs. Not anything that's been customized or recorded by like a computer or something. This guy has got a handle on it alongside with an antenna on it, which is retractable, so you can obviously get the best signal. There's no digital radio in this at all, so this means that you won't be able to get any of the digital radio signals like DAB, which is based in the UK and stuff like that. This guy happily does actually, because this is also based in Panasonic and also is one of these big blocky boomboxes as well, the actual speakers do detach. You can just to give some proof here as I slowly make my way to actually show that these actually do detach. This is just one side, but these are very nice little drivers. These there's a wire that basically goes from the main unit, and you can put the speakers away from it if you really wanted to, which I don't really want to put it away on mine. I just normally keep them together. Maybe at some point when I do have another place, I will put them away from the unit, but I'll just keep it with the unit. Now, I will say that the wattage on this guy is 35 watts in total when it comes down to both of these speakers, and that's loud, okay? There's other boomboxes out there that try to have a higher number of watts, but this guy, I feel like I actually can believe it because it's from Panasonic. Let's actually get this guy up and running. This can run on 8 D-cell batteries, which is gonna make it heavy, but I do have to say that if you are not gonna do any batteries and such, it just goes off of a 2-prong plug, which I gotta plug it in by anyway because I don't have enough batteries to be able to actually run this guy. First, starting off, we're gonna start with the cassette. This is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 soundtrack on tape. I don't know what song this is gonna play, so I guess that I do not expect the full song to play because of copyright reasons, but alright, we'll but since you've been gone, you cast a spell so breaking. cassette does sound pretty good on both decks anyway. I usually tend to use the recorder's deck anyway, but I do gotta say, it sounds fantastic. One of the nicest things that this cassette player does provide is a actual fast dub feature where you can actually listen to the audio even while it's going fast forward, which means that if you were listening to a tape and you wanted to go to a certain song, you can just do the fast dubbing feature where you can listen to the actual tape itself while it's fast forwarding. This is just a type 1 tape, which I will go in and play a little bit of that as well. This is actually audio that I recorded on the Boombox as well. Take note from a digital source, but I do gotta say, you want me still. Even cassettes recorded through this tape player is actually really nice too, but I will say, let's move over to something else, which is actually the CD, which I can happily, these actually do include real I did not expect the radio to come on, but yeah, this does include the full radio AM, FM frequencies. Where it goes on from 87 to 108. I get pretty clear stations on this guy, but I don't tend to use the radio that much. I don't know how many people would actually use the radio. I mean, I know there's some people who care about the full, like, seeking capabilities, but I don't. I mean, I won't really use this as a radio. But going back to what I was actually going to show, the CD capabilities. Again, this guy cannot play CDRs, which is a big downside. You can put a cassette adapter in this guy, which I actually do for the right side, because originally when I got this boombox, it was actually having problems with playing the tape, where for some reason on the actual pinch rollers themselves, it would actually leave a puncture in the tape, damaging the tape. So happily, I've been able to fix the issue, and it was actually in really nice condition too for 32 bucks. It does include a basic display for finding the tracks and that stuff. It doesn't have quite a lot, but I mean, it does have your basic controls for being able to play fast forward, skip songs, such like that. But I do have to say that I'm pretty sure that on CD capabilities, either way, either function will affect how long this could last on batteries. But I do gotta say, this also does have an equalizer as well, which means that you could also change how it sounds. The most right side makes it more based on the treble side. And I mean, honestly, I just kind of keep it neutralized because I don't really personally care about the EQ so much. It's mostly just like making it sound the best it can. Although I do really like how this sounds. It actually sounds fantastic. Some other things that this guy does also include is a bass knob where it will allow you to pump up the bass as loud as you want to. I have it in the middle to where it's not so extreme side of bass, but it also isn't like just treble. It's got like, I mean, it's got like the tuning dial, which I mean, radio and that stuff. I will say some unfortunate things that this does not include are some features like auto reverse on the, oh, that's perfect timing. Some things which this boombox does not include is features like auto reverse or even Dolby noise reduction, which, I mean, I know that Dolby was still distributing at this point in the 90s, but even then, newer tapes like this Sabrina Carpenter tape does not have any form of noise reduction whatsoever, and even is recorded on basic ferric tape. Although one nice thing is that it does have the basic auto stop and that stuff, but it also can dub tapes from the right deck to the left deck. I think I've said that earlier, but you can record an entire tape from the beginning to end if you so desired, which I sometimes may do. Although at this point, I mean, who's really gonna do that nowadays? Unless you're kind of just like giving mixtapes around, which honestly, I mean, I could care less. There are some other things as well that I can feature before going and giving my general thoughts. There's a memory button basically for the CD, basically being able to choose certain tracks that you want to listen to. Also, easy CD record is probably something based on the tape deck. I'm not so sure because I haven't tested the feature, and I'm not entirely sure if that's something where it's like a thing where it makes it easier to record or something like that. Like, because, I mean, take note that CDs are most likely 74 minutes when it comes down to a standard CD, which, I mean, 74 minutes is not that long. I mean, a 90-minute cassette is gonna be long enough, but I think it spreads out the songs and that stuff. You got the bass repeat and a headphone jack as well, which I gotta say, through this guy, it sounds great. I will say that now coming down to the final thoughts of what I think about this boombox after years of not doing a boombox review and finally getting down to actually making this one. What do I think of this Panasonic RX-DT600 from 1995? I am a massive fan. When it comes down to this boombox, I like it a lot. I mean, it's actually, one of the biggest things is that I liked it for the condition of it. Like, I loved the condition of this boombox. Let me actually move this a little bit higher so it doesn't feel like I'm cramming myself. I really do love this boombox. It is a really nice little device from 1995. The condition was one of the biggest reasons why I picked this up. I actually got it shipped down from New Hampshire, by the way. Some things which I do not like. I will say some things which I do not like. Again, 1995, which means it doesn't support CDRs, which, I mean, I do record some CDRs, even though, like, it's not really common for people to record CDRs anymore. Although the one thing which can adapt to that is getting a cassette adapter to record tapes through, like getting a tape adapter to be able to play and then record songs from so-and-so, like a MP3 player or an iPod or something. This thing sounds fantastic. I love this guy. It is without a doubt one of the nicest boomboxes that I've had in a while, besides my Sony CFD V25 boombox, which I love that guy. It came out a few years after this. It actually did play CDRs, but I decided to give it away. This boombox is so worth it. Like, $32 is such a steal. And it's actually been like a great little guy for me. It's awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching this little video on this Panasonic boombox. I'm happy I finally got this down. Comment, like, and subscribe. It's been a while since I talked about a boombox again, and I'll see you guys later when I talk about, I guess I could talk about, Sabrina Carpenter, because, you know, I get bored sometimes. Bye!